Hello, happy Monday, and welcome to Yoga at Midday. I'm Tawana Wright, Associate State Director of Community Outreach with AARP Alabama, and our yoga instructor, Becca Impello. Becca, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Glad to be with you again.
Well, I'm excited. What do you have on tap for us today?
Well, last week we focused on neck and shoulders. And we did a lot of stretches for the neck and the arms and the shoulders and the upper back. And today I thought we would focus a little bit more on the low back and the hips. So we're going to stretch out the hips, just get some good mobilization and gentle strengthening for our low back. Great, just healthy movement for our bodies.
All right, that sounds good. Folks, remember, before you start any exercise routine, you should consult with your physician. And always make sure that you're clear to do the exercises. So we don't want you to hurt yourself in any way. So without any further ado, we're going to kick it off with Becca.
All right, well, like Tawana said, we want you to be safe and we want this to feel good. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is for you to pay close attention to what you're doing. And if your body says, oh, that doesn't feel quite right, then you should listen to your body and you should back off. All of our movements can be done small or big, depending on what feels right for our bodies, right? So keep that in mind. You're in charge of whether your movement's small, big, that sort of thing. All right, we're going to start with a little bit of breathing, just to bring our awareness into our bodies and start to regulate our breath and get some control of it. So go ahead and sit tall. Okay? Have those feet on the ground if possible. Shoes are fine. If you have shoes on, no worries. All right, now sit tall and reach the arms down to your sides. And just take a moment here to draw the shoulders back and down, to lift kind of from the back of your belly button. Okay, so just imagine that there's a little lever there, something that you could just pull up on slightly to help you sit up tall. All right, and then from here, we're going to take some slow breaths in. Breathe in and sweep the arms out beside you. And then exhale, slowly blow out of the mouth for me. Bringing those hands down to right in front of the belly, okay? So inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale. Good, now keep going. We're going to see if we can make that sound, that blowing out of the mouth, come from the back of the throat. Make a ha sound. Like you're fogging up a glass or a mirror. In through the nose, exhale from the back of the throat. Couple more times. Now, if you're getting the hang of it, let's do these last couple, making that same ha sound, but exhale through the nose. Still closing up that throat. Two more. One more. Now keep those hands right in front of your belly. You can rest them on your tummy if you want, or just out in front. But I want you to see if you can find your belly as you breathe. And allow that belly to expand as you inhale. And gently pull it in as you exhale. Just a little hug, a little squeeze. Inhale. And exhale, pull in. We want to just bring our awareness to the area of the abdomen so that we're allowing it to move and we're breathing using our diaphragm. Okay, so our diaphragm is a muscle that lives at the bottom of our rib cage. And we want to really use that diaphragm as completely as possible and increase its capacity over time by breathing fully, breathing in and out of the belly. Just give it 3 more breaths. Think about your belly relaxed and moving out. That's when the diaphragm works, and then gently squeeze in, help to empty the lungs. 2 more. Last one. All right, now that we've settled our breathing, we're ready to do some movements. We're going to start with a gentle movement of the spine. Inhale and pull those arms back beside you. Squeeze between the shoulder blades and lift up into a little bit of an arch. Exhale, push forward and let your back get a little bit rounded. So inhale, pull back. Exhale, push forward. You can move that head gently up and down with this movement. Two more. One more. Big breath in, a little bit of an arch. Exhale, round it back. Now drop those hands down to your knees. Pull your chest up. You can take your knees wide if that's more comfortable for you. Make sure you're not going to slip off the edge of your chair, but you do want to be not leaning on the back of the chair either. So inhale, sit up tall. Just kind of pull your elbows back and your chest up. And then exhale, bend forward gently. And roll it up and pull those shoulders back and sit up tall. Inhale. And exhale, fold forward. Now you decide how far forward feels right for you. And then gently roll it back up to sitting tall, shoulders back. Inhale. Exhale. Now remember what I said, you might be making a relatively small movement here, but that's okay because it's movement for your body. And if you're making a bigger movement, just check in, make sure that this feels good. One more time. Shoulders back, chest up, fold forward, and then roll it up. All right, bring the feet back in if you had them out wide. We're going to do some side bending for the back now. So reach one arm up towards the ceiling and take it over as you exhale. Inhale, come back up tall, stay on the same side. Exhale, take it over to the side. Two more on this same side of the body. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it over. Inhale, come up. And exhale, over. This time, let's stay. Take this bottom hand and see if you can hold on somewhere. Maybe the leg of your chair, maybe the seat of your chair. And see if you can brace a little bit. Push off of that chair. Stretch up through the waist and the rib cage. Take one more deep breath here. And then bring it back up to center. Now I want you just to pause a moment. Anytime we do it on one side, it's nice to notice. Does that side of your body feel longer, feel bigger, feel brighter? And then we'll switch it over. So other side. Inhale, and then exhale, stretch over. Same side. Inhale, back up tall. Exhale, stretch over. Only as far as feels good for you. And we got the shoulder to think about as well. How does your shoulder feel? If you need to have that elbow a little bent, you can. Two more. Now this next one, we're going to stay put, right? Hold that stretch. So see if that bottom hand can brace on the chair somewhere. Give yourself a little push. Good. One more breath. And then release it, come back to center, and I want you just to pause. These are good times to close the eyes if you like. And just notice how the sides of your body feel. Notice the effect of that stretch. All right, next we're going to do some twisting. Then we will have moved our spine, warmed it up in all of its 6 directions, okay? So bring the hands up to the heart, sit nice and tall. And then I want you to exhale and stretch your arms out. And then inhale, bring them back in and face forward. And then exhale, turn the other way and stretch the arms out. Inhale, back to center. If your shoulders don't like the stretching of the arms, you can keep your hands at your heart the whole time if you like. All right, so exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist. And back to center. Now we're going to hold this next one. So we're going to twist. And then let the arms find somewhere to rest. So that forward arm, take it across to the opposite knee. That back arm, see if it can rest on the chair. Maybe the top of it, maybe down low near the hips. Sit tall. Gently push into the knee, and the knee can also push into the hand. Now, if you'd like, you can turn your head all the way back, or keep it moving even if you want, back and forth. We'll hold this stretch, one more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Hands to the heart. Pause. Just taking that moment to notice the feeling in your spine, in your waist, in your torso. Inhale, get tall. Exhale again, turn other direction. And then find a place for the hands. Take the forward hand across to the opposite knee. Back arm rested on the chair, wherever feels comfortable. Get taller, push the knee into the hand into the knee. And maybe turn your head all the way back, or as far as it comfortably goes, or feel free to move it back and forth. Good, on an inhale, come back to the front. Good. Pause one more moment, just noticing how that back feels, how the body feels. It's checking in that I keep asking you to do is one of the ways that yoga is really helpful for our nervous system. It helps our brain function better because we spend the time to really pay attention. Okay? All right, we're going to warm up the hips now and do a little bit of movement with those. So we're going to start with a march, just up and down. So we're bending right here at the hip crease. What I'd like you to try to do is stay up tall, not lean back. Okay? So keep the spine up. Let's add a little direction. Pick the leg up and take it out. Pick it up and bring it back in. Pick it up and bring it out. And bring it back in. Now go as high as you can with this lift of the leg while you still sit up tall. So again, maybe that for you is a smaller lift because when you try to lift high, you fall back. Okay? Good. One more time. Good. Now, reach down, hold on to the sides of the chair if you can reach, okay? It might be the seat, it might be the legs of your chair. Maybe you've got some armrests that you can push down on, okay? But see what you can grab hold of, and then let's bend and straighten one knee. This affects our hips because the hamstring at the back of our leg, it connects all the way up to our hips in the back. Good. 3 more. Push and pull. Flex that foot. Now keep it out there and drop that heel down onto the ground. Okay? Sit up nice and tall. Keep holding on. And maybe you can lean forward a little bit. If that's too tight, however, like it's pretty tight for me on this side, I don't need to lean forward very much. Okay? Definitely don't lean so far forward that you slip out of your chair. Stay grounded. All right, and then bring it back up tall, bring that foot in. Other side, sit tall and kick and bend. So again, maybe you're holding on to the chair somewhere. That might help you to engage that internal lift and get nice and tall. Push and pull with that leg. 3, 2, and 1. Keep it out there. Flex the foot. Drop the heel down. Lift up nice and tall. Maybe that's enough. Maybe you can lean forward a little bit. Now remember, you don't have to go somewhere in particular. You don't have to get to a place where you feel a big stretch. For some of us, this won't be that much of a stretch. And for others of us, this is going to be a lot of a stretch. So we want to just find what works with our body. Stay comfortable in the chair. And then come on back up, bring that leg in. All right, now we're going to work just a little bit on hip rotation. This is one of the other movements of the hip. So take your feet a little bit wide, and you're going to try to stay seated in your chair, not lean off of one hip, right? So keep that buttock down and see if you can pick your foot up on the inside. Turn the knee out and then down. Pick the other leg up, turn as much as you can. This one is a hard one. Okay, uses some real specific muscles. Stay sitting up tall. And again, don't worry about how big your movement is. Just pay attention and do what you can do. Sit tall, try and rotate that hip joint in the socket. It's real good for strengthening these muscles. And it also just helps to loosen them up when we sit a lot, or if we're sitting a lot. Like maybe you spent your Monday catching up on emails at the computer. So these hips are happy to be moving. Good. Now we're going to do the other direction. So pause, bring the feet closer together, keep your bottom on the chair, but this time, see if you can take your foot out to the side, and your knee turns a little bit in. This one might be even harder than the last one for some of us. This one gets me right here. I feel those muscles. All right, sit tall, do what you can do. We're going to stand up in a moment and be able to move these hips a good bit more. But this will have gotten them good and warmed up. Last one for rotation. All right, and then just give me a little Elvis leg, okay? Just wiggle those knees in and out. Arms are optional. All right, we're going to stand up for a bit. All right, so come on up out of your chair. If you're able to just turn your chair and use the back of it, that's great. That'll give you just a little something to hold on to for parts of this, okay, as needed. All right, just make sure that if your chair has wheels or is on a slippery surface, you don't let it slide away from you, okay? So we're going to turn and face the chair and just put the hands lightly on the top and take the hips back. Now, if you don't have a good chair for this, put your hands on the wall or the top of your desk, okay? And I want you just to move those hips side to side a little bit, okay? Side to side. Now let's see if we can turn that into a little bit of a circle. Again, we want this to feel good, like it's just loosening up those joints. So it could be small, it could be slow, go the other direction. Good, and then walk those feet back just a little bit more and see if you can lengthen out your arms and your spine. Let your knees be soft, bent. This is especially important if your hamstrings back here are really tight. And just lengthen back as much as feels comfortable for you. We won't all be completely flat here. And take one more breath. And then let's bring one leg towards the chair. So we've got a nice long stride in our stance, okay? All right, push into that back leg. So pushing down into that heel, squeezing that buttock here. And then lift up in front. I want you to see if you can find that place behind your navel and pull up. This is helping to open up the front of our hips. Real important for our low back. Right. If you're able to let go, reach the arms up also. Get a nice stretch up towards the ceiling. It's fine if you want to keep one arm on the chair and reach up with the other one. Good, and then bring that hand down. We're going to step it back once again. This is one of my favorite things to have people do if they sit a lot at a desk or if they've been in the car for a long time. Really helpful for most people to get this traction or this length into their spine. Remember, the knees can be bent as we push back into the hips. One more breath. And then lift up. Make sure you step the other leg forward towards the chair. Get that long stride. We call this the warrior stance in yoga. Push back into that back leg so that heel is nice and grounded. You may be getting a good calf stretch there. And then lift from behind the belly button up towards the chest. Add those arms if you want. Remember, it could be one arm so you can still hold on. 2 more breaths here. Strong legs. Lift the belly, reach up. And hands come back down to the chair. And one more time with this stretch back. We could call this a downward dog variation. We're doing it on the chair instead of the hands on the ground, which is just a nice convenient way to sneak it into your day. It's also maybe a little easier, more accessible to do than trying to get down on the floor. All right, now we'll do a little bit more for our back here, and then we'll finish up with some hip stretches sitting down. Turn your chair around, or again, maybe you're using the top of a counter or a desk. That might work better than your chair. But I want you to have somewhere that you can put your hands down, and then walk those feet back so that you've got some space here along the spine, along the length of the torso. All right, and then we're gonna round it up. This is called cat, okay? Because it sort of looks like an angry cat, an arched Halloween cat. And then inhale, we're gonna take the spine the other direction, maybe flat, maybe a slight sway in that lower back. Exhale, get rounded. Inhale. Lift the chest. Notice that I bend my knees on this inhale because that makes it easier to lift my hips and flatten my back. Let's do 3 more. Try to do it with your breathing. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round the back. 1 more. Good. And then go ahead and bring one leg forward and the other leg back. Now, some of us may need to come up a little bit and put our hands on the top of the chair. Others may be able to come down to the seat of the chair. It's just going to depend on how that leg feels, okay? But I want you to straighten that front leg and move that hip back. And then you decide, how far do you want to lean in? You want to stay up high or come down on the chair, or even for some, maybe bend the elbows, okay? But we're stretching the back of this front leg, okay? At least that's where you might feel it. Again, like I said, that hamstring muscle on the back of your thigh, it connects to your hip. All right, now we're going to come up and switch sides. So take the other leg close to the chair, then one leg back, and then straighten that knee and decide, where do you want to fold? To the top of the chair, down to the seat of the chair, maybe bend the elbows. Okay, but this knee is straight. Taking that hip back. Let's hold it for a couple more breaths. And then we'll release it. And come on up. One last thing before we sit back down. Take your feet wide, about the width of your chair. Okay? Make sure you're not too close. Bend your knees. Fold it forward and see if your hands and maybe your forehead can go down onto the seat of the chair. Now, some of us won't make it quite that far down. It might be just the hands on the chair. That's fine. Remember, your knees can be bent. We're going to just stay in this fold. We'll call this a ragdoll forward fold for a few more breaths. Having a chair to support the weight of your upper body is a really nice way to do this fold. Gentle on the low back. All right, and then slowly come up. Use that chair to help. Come all the way up tall. And let's sit back down and finish this up. We're going to again do a little bit more for our hips and then settle it down with a bit of relaxation breathing. All right, so we're going to stretch the hips by taking the ankle up to the knee. Okay, this helps us to stretch that outer hip. Now this maybe is too far for some of us. So you take that leg on the ground. If you had a box or something like a yoga block, it could be lifted up a little bit, but not all the way. So wherever you're able to go, sit tall and maybe take a slide forward, lean over that leg. The key here is to breathe, be gentle, pay attention to how this feels. Nice slow breath in, long breath out. Think about that diaphragm being able to do its work for full breath. Last breath here. And we're going to stay on the same side. So whatever leg you have here, see if you can cross it all the way over. Okay? If crossing the legs doesn't work for you, go knees together as tight as you can. All right? And then sit tall and turn towards that crossed knee. Hook the hand on that knee. Take the other arm back behind you. This gets both the hip with a little stretch and the spine, especially the low back, with a twist. And then come on back around to the front. Uncross. Take just a moment to notice how things feel. Notice that leg that you just stretched. Notice the twist remnant in your low back. All right, and then the other side. So it could be that ankle up to the knee. Could be that you need to be down on the ground. Do as much opening as you can. Put a block or a box there for your leg to come part way up. Sit tall. And then maybe again, there's that little bit of a lean forward. Doesn't usually take very much. It's the sitting tall that's most important. Another 2-3 breaths here. Pay attention. How does this feel in your body? What do you notice? Good. Come on back up. If you're able to cross all the way over, keep that leg going all the way across. Knees and thighs together as another option. Sit tall and turn towards that bent knee or that crossed knee. Good. Find that tall lift in the spine as you inhale. Exhale, turn into it. And then unwind it. Come back to the front. Notice how things feel. And then perhaps scoot back in your chair if you've got room so you can use your back rest. That's what I'm going to do. And then just rest your hands. In fact, actually, let's put one hand on the belly and the other hand on the heart. Okay? If you prefer to lay your hands in your lap, that's fine as well. And then close the eyes or just drop your gaze right down to the floor in front of you and just continue to listen to my voice for instruction. Slowly, gradually fill up the body with inhale and slowly, gradually release on the exhale. The key here being the slowness. Just trying to slow your breathing down overall. Slower inhale and slower exhale. And then perhaps perhaps we can even slow down that space between breaths, so that after you finish your exhale, can you pause just a moment before you breathe in again? And the same thing, exhaling slowly, and then pausing at the end of that exhale. Just notice your heartbeat once or twice. Let's try that one more round. Slow inhale, even slower exhale, and a little pause. And then open the eyes or lift the gaze, bring the hands together at your heart. Take a moment just with gratitude for your body, for your hips, for your back, and all it does for you every day. And I appreciate you being here with me. I hope you'll join us again next Monday at noon for more yoga. Thanks so much.